January 20th, 1765. Dear Journal, something strange is happening in Boston. I can practically feel it in the air. Ever since the 7 Years' War ended 2 years ago, it seems as if that blissful time of salutary neglect is gone for good. Last year, in April, Parliament passed new taxes to try to pay off our war debt to France. Unfortunately, it's looking like we in the colonies will be footing most of the bill. According to Parliament, the war was fought here, so we should be responsible for paying for it. I don't think it should be that simple. Neither the Sugar Act nor the Currency Act have been popular here in Massachusetts. We've been taxed for things we use every day: coffee, sugar, cloth, you name it. We can't even print our own money. From what I've seen, Bostonians are very unhappy with these laws, and I don't think they'll settle for them any time soon. As they've been saying, no taxation without representation. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see what changes are in store for us in the colonies, and especially in Boston. Faithfully yours, Isaac Caldwell. March 31st, 1765. This week, we have learned about two new laws passed by Parliament, the Stamp Act and the Quartering Act.
Hear ye, hear ye. Parliament has passed its newest legislation regarding the colonies, the Stamp Act, or an act for granting and applying certain stamp duties and other duties in the British colonies and plantations in America. Number 1. For every skin or piece of vellum or parchment or sheet of paper on which shall be engrossed, written, or printed any declaration, plea, replication, demur, or other pleading, or any copy thereof in any court of law within the British colonies and plantations in America, a stamp duty of 3 pence. Number 2. For every piece. Number 15. Number 27. Number 36. Number 42.
Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you?
I need a room to stay tonight and tomorrow too.
I'm sorry, but I have 6 children and we only have 2 rooms. We don't have enough space for anyone else.
They can share a room for a night. It's not that big a deal.
That's not going to work with me.
Well, you're legally obligated to give me shelter under the Quartering Act. Thank you.
Ain't nobody got time for this.
These two new laws seem extreme, and I know I'm not alone in that opinion. I know the spirit of this town, and I know that most people here will not just stand by and watch as they are taxed to death. I'm looking forward to seeing the reactions from my fellow citizens. I know that they will be interesting. Until next time, Isaac Caldwell.
That's the loyalist I was telling about. He supports the crown. Let's go get him. Do you have the tar?
Yeah, you have the feathers?
Yeah, let's go.
I support the Sons of Liberty's ideas, but I'm still not sure if I'm on board with all the violence. On the other hand, the more Britain insists on forcing more taxes upon us, the more inclined I'll be to resort to whatever means are at my disposal. Yours truly, Isaac Caldwell. July 11th, 1767. It's hard to believe that more than 2 years have passed since I've last written. So much has happened lately that I've struggled to find time to record it all. I'll try to keep it pretty simple and straightforward. First of all, the colonists were so upset at the Stamp Act that it was repealed by Parliament. I guess all the protests and boycotts were successful. This news is not quite as good as it sounds, though. After repealing the Stamp Act, Parliament passed the Declaratory Act. This basically means that Britain can impose whatever taxes it wants here in America. Just last month, Parliament passed the Townshend Acts, which taxes our paper, glass, tea, and more. I truly believe that these taxes are unfair, especially since we have no say in Parliament about them. However, I don't think it's right to rely on violence to resolve our problems, even though there are some radicals here in Boston who would disagree with that statement. I honestly wish that we could just go back to the way things were before the 7 Years' War and all of these taxes, but something tells me that this is just wishful thinking. Yours, Isaac Caldwell.
lovely weather we're having.
It is very, very nice.
Yes, I really like your dress. Is that new?
Yes, thank you. I made it myself.
Oh wow, it looks really good.
Thank you. It's a lot of work.
Would you like some tea?
No, thank you. I'll be drinking water today.
Same with me, I don't drink tea anymore.
I sure do miss my tea, though.
I know, me too.
I'll bring you back some water, I guess.
We've also boycotted British cloth and clothing here in Boston. Thankfully, the women have managed to make clothes without help from imports, so we shouldn't freeze this winter. If we don't buy as many imports, we won't have to pay as many taxes. And if the British see that their taxes aren't generating income, they will repeal them. I just hope that the boycott is effective in reality and not just in theory. Regards, Isaac Caldwell. September 29th, 1768. Around 8 warships have arrived in Boston Harbor from Britain. I'm concerned about escalating tensions here, which could lead to violence and bloodshed. Sincerely, Isaac Caldwell.
Hey, Goldfinch, you're my master money for the wig you ordered. You better pay up.
Hey, that's a captain talking to you. You need to be more
You
respectful.
calling me disrespectful?
Yeah.
I have the right to say what I think.
Oh, no, this is not
Hey.
acceptable. Listen here.
Stupid critic! Call out the main guard! Stupid critic!
Go back in! We don't want you here! Christmas! Hold your fire!
November 28, 1773. It's been 3 years since the massacre. The Dartmouth, a merchant vessel, arrives in Boston today, and the Eleanor and the Beaver will arrive shortly for Britain. They each carry more than 100 crates of tea. I've been keeping my ears open, and I've heard of a radical plan involving these 3 ships. I didn't think it would be possible, but ever since the Tea Act was passed this past May, I found that most colonists have grown to resent the Crown more and more. At first, the Tea Act doesn't sound too bad. There are no new taxes included in the law, and the tea from the British East India Company will be directly shipped here at a discounted price. The more this act is analyzed, however, the worse it seems. Personally, I think the Tea Act is just a way to raise popular support for the Townshend Acts. After all, we still have to pay Townshend duties on all tea products. For many of us in Boston, this is the last straw. I don't feel safe writing down the radicals' plot here, but I will record the details after the fact, whether it is a success or a failure. It is time for us to take this matter into our own hands. All the best, Isaac Caldwell. Dear Journal, the British were appalled by our actions at the Boston Tea Party. Not only do they view Massachusetts as the core of resistance, they have also passed the coercive acts on March 28, 1774, as punishment for our actions. The reaction among the colonists is mixed. Some believe that revolutionary actions are the only way to obtain the rights they believe are God-given. Others want fewer destructive actions and wish to remain loyal British supporters. So I leave you, colonists, with the decision to remain loyal to the British or join the new movement that is fighting for our rights. Yours truly, Isaac Caldwell.